Saturday afternoon. Let's go. TitleTown Throwdown. Nick LeBlanc. Lot to get to. The Bruins are a game away from the second round. The Red Sox continue to be hot. The Patriots, for some reason, brought back Brian Hoyer for whatever that means to you. Whatever. And then whatever other national headlines there are, we'll get to. But right now, we're going to start with some hockey right now. The Boston Bruins are one game away from eliminating the Washington Capitals and moving on to the second round of the NHL playoffs. So let's recap here. Coming into this series, the Capitals were by far the better team. That's pretty straightforward and simple. Capitals were the better team. They have more physicality than you. They had some more big bodies than you, and they could score. Guys like Alexander Ovechkin, TJ Oshie, Tom Wilson for the piece of poop that he is. But this Bruins team, though, they got some grit, they got some fight, they got some balls. They're staying with this Capitals team throughout. And the Capitals, I don't think they got an answer for them. I really don't. I don't think they have an answer for the Bruins right now. But is the better team leading this series? No. The Capitals are the better team. But the Bruins have found ways to win and have made the most of some opportunities. But also, on the other hand, too, though, what they're doing is that the Bruins haven't had many opportunities. Capitals have had, thousands of opportunities. But there's one guy, though, that's really starting to snake bite them. And that is Bruins goaltender, Tuukka Rask. Now, love Tuukka, hate Tuukka, on the bridge of Tuukka, whatever. The Capitals could easily be up 3-1. Or last night could have been the last game for the Bruins. Tuukka Rask has kept the Bruins in every single game this series. Right now, the amount of saves that Tuukka Rask has made are goals that he probably normally would have given up to guys like Ovechkin and Oshie, Hagelin, Wilson, the list goes on and on. The amount of saves that he's made that could have easily been goals, he stopped. If Tuukka Rask can steal you this series, then great. Your goaltender finally stole you a series. Now, can he steal you a Stanley Cup? That's really the still number one question that Tuukka Rask needs to answer. Can you be the guy to lead this team, this Bruins team right now, to the Stanley Cup final and win the damn thing? You've come close a couple of times. Finish it off now. Finish the job off now, Tuukka. Because you're finally still in the series with this Bruins team. But the Bruins have outscored Washington 9-3 since Taylor Hall's game-tying goal in game number 2. With under 3 minutes left, Hall ties that game, and everyone goes berserk. And from then on, the Bruins have been a cycle. Now, have the Bruins caught some breaks? Yes, and that leads me to this week's edition of the TitleTown Play of the Week, or I should say, Plays of the Week, because it features Taylor Hall, Brad Marchand, and Craig Smith all getting winners. So starting off with Taylor Hall's game winner, game tying goal, I should say, in game 2 against the Washington Capitals.
Exactly 3 minutes remaining in regulation. Taylor Hall past Carlson. Hall cutting wide, centering pass, Smith looking for it, Anderson looking for it, Hall takes a whack at it, they score! With 2:49 remaining, the Bruins tie the game at 3.
The one that put it into the back of the net, but watch this scramble. Krejci's there. Hall is there. McAvoy is there. The contact with McAvoy. Watch the contact here. McAvoy is there. He gets knocked down by Sherry, so that's where the goaltender gets sprawled out, and yes, it looks like Taylor Hall.
So there's Hall's goal. There's Taylor Hall's goal to tie the game in game number 2 with under 3 to go. Now, as we all know him, we love him, Jack Edwards quite literally yelling his freaking pants off for Brad Marchand's game number 2 call.
Dylan waits for the slider. Krejci to Grzelcyk. Cross ice. Marchand scores! Brad Marchand evens the series. 1 game apiece. Back to Boston. It only took 39 seconds.
What an impressive response game by the Boston Bruins. Even when it was 3-2 late, they still had the believability because of all the good things that they had done through the first 55 minutes. Bruins making a change. The long change allows David Krejci to be in the offensive zone real early, replacing Bergeron. Washington doesn't realize it. They hand the puck right to Krejci. And how about that pass from Grzelcyk? We talked about taking advantage of Washington in their own zone, in their man-on-man coverage.
And there you go. So, as obviously we see Jack Edwards just absolutely lose his absolute bonkers. I was trying to get his call for game 3 of the overtime winner for Craig Smith, but that didn't do it. But here it is, Craig Smith's game-winning goal in game number 2 as Smith and the Bruins caught Washington napping.
Capitals clear the puck out, and then Miller fires right back down. Schultz in hesitation, allowing Smith to take the puck, and he scores! Craig Smith, game 3, double overtime winner for the Boston Bruins. They lead the series 2 games to 1.
Well, a brilliant performance tonight for Ilya Samsonov. But here, miscommunication with Justin Schultz and Craig Smith. The speed, the fresh body on the ice, gets this puck, beats him back to the far post, and the Bruins win in overtime. Number 2.
So there you go. So lucky breaks for the Bruins. Now, granted, the Taylor Hall goal could have easily have come back because he could have called Charlie McAvoy for goaltender interference, which I really thought it was goaltender interference at one point, but turns out the call stood in Washington. They didn't want to take the chance of challenging it, having the challenge get lost, and then put the Bruins on the power play with 2:53 left to go. I don't blame Washington there, but I do believe that they should have taken a look and just gambled. Even if you lost the game still in overtime, you at least gave it a challenge. And who knows, maybe the NHL could have ruled it saying, yeah, goaltender interference, no goal. This series could be tied 2-2. It could be tied 2-2, or hell, it could even be over. For all we know, it could be over, but it's not. You've done some lucky breaks. You've done a lot of great saves for your goaltender to Rask. But last night is probably the most dominant game that any team had. The Bruins had the momentum from that game from the get-go, and they took it and went on to win 4-1. Washington, it's been a roller coaster series for them. Lead, give it right back. Lead, give it right back. You win in overtime. You get down, you come back, get down, you come back, you have all the momentum again. And then Taylor Hall just takes the momentum, shoves it up your butt, and comes right back. And the Bruins have the momentum, win games 2. And the Bruins were the better team in both the overtime and second overtime in game 3. And the Bruins are the all-around better team last night. So for about the last, say, 6.5, 5 periods, you have been the better team. The Bruins have been the better team. The first 6, 7, 8, 8.5 periods, Washington was the better team. You're just lucky to be in the damn thing because your goaltender is sitting on his head. So when your goaltender is sitting on his head, or I should say standing on his head, making all these fantastic saves, and you're still in the game, that's why. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dissect game number 5, what Washington has to do to keep this series alive and send it back to Boston Tuesday night, and what the Bruins need to do to end Washington's season tomorrow. TitleTown Throwdown on Native Sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. My apologies. On Native Sports and Fans Only Sports Network. My apologies there. Still adjusting to the name. But we'll be right back here on the Fans Only Sports Network and Native Sports.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
Odyssey Group International, a proud sponsor here for the Fans Only Sports Network. All right, so want to continue on our Bruins discussion here, and in my rambling, I forgot to mention the goaltending situation. The Bruins goaltending situation is fine. You got Rask, Jeremy Swayman. He's staying on the bench as the backup role, but I'll get to Rask and Swayman in a little bit. Has anyone noticed that the Capitals have gone through 3 goaltenders in 4 games? Because game 1 is Vitek Venchuk, however the hell you pronounce this. I have no freaking clue how you say his name. But he injures his groin. Oh, what was it? Yeah, about 13 minutes into game 1, pulled his groin because he wasn't ready for a shot, and we haven't seen him since. So then the Capitals go to 39-year-old. I already had the name, and it was on the tip of my tongue, and I lost it. Craig Anderson, that's who it was. You go to 40-year-old Craig Anderson, and he literally kicks your ass in games 1 and 2. You got 3 goals past him in game 2, and then marched on the game winner in game 2 as well. But you're making a 40-year-old goaltender look good. You're making him look good. That was a golden opportunity for the Bruins to take game 1, and they didn't take it. Bruins could have easily pulled away in game 2, didn't take it. Game 3, they go away from Craig Anderson, and they go to Ilya Samsonov, who is now 0-2 in the Bruins' in their last 2 games here in Boston, with a .296 goals against average and a .913 save percentage. All right, that's not bad. It's not bad. But the Bruins are now taking advantage of that. The Bruins now have 3-1, with Washington's season on the line in game number 5. And the Bruins goaltending situation, both Rask and Swayman, well, Rask has played every single minute of the playoffs so far. Swayman hasn't seen anything. So it proves that Rask is A, healthy, B, he is locked in, in which you want him to be locked in. Now, you can say he wasn't locked in last year in the bubble. He had distractions. Last year in the bubble, who didn't have distractions? All right, you're playing in an empty arena, trying to emulate the pressure of playoff hockey, and it was hard. And yet you still made it to round number 2, only got your ass kicked by the Lightning, who eventually won the Stanley Cup. But now there's a different feel, though. You're playing in your own arena. You're traveling to different arenas. There are fans in the stands. You can a limited amount of fans right now, but if you advance round 2, you get to have a full house in round number 2. But you can pack the Garden. You can pack the Garden. The only seats that won't be covered, that won't be taken up, are the seats behind the benches, or the first 10 rows behind the benches, and I think the first 5 or 10 rows behind the penalty benches. And then you have to have a full house. Every other seat in the arena can be taken up. Starting next Saturday, Fenway Park, TD Garden, max capacity. Go ahead. The Celtics, depending on how many home games they get in the playoffs, they might not even get to experience a full TD Garden crowd until the following NBA season. Sucks to be that, but for the NHL, which is a revenue-driven league, if you have a chance to bang out the place. Do it. So the difference is now from this year's Stanley Cup playoffs to last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, well, everything. They're home, they're traveling, they're fans of the stands, you can feed off the energy of the fans. Yeah, I beat it right now, only 25,000. Not 25, 25%. 25% capacity. But you can feed off that 25% pretty quick. You can feed off that 25% pretty damn quick. The Bruins did in game number 3 in the overtimes, and they sure did yesterday. Imagine the Bruins do eliminate the Capitals. They get to round number 2. Imagine the Garden jumping. It'd be the first time that the Garden would be, quote unquote, sold out, max capacity, since I believe the last Celtics home game, which was on March 10th of 2020. That's the last time we saw the TD Garden filled. Imagine that. Last time the Bruins saw the TD Garden filled was their last home game against the Lightning, and I believe 3 days prior to that, which was, I believe it was like March 7th or something, in a 4-3 loss against the Lightning. But again, it was a playoff preview. We got that playoff series, but not the way we wanted it. Because if the pandemic never happened, Bruins would have had home ice advantage throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. In games 1, 2, 5, and 7, the Bruins would have been the home team. But it didn't work out that way. The Bruins effed it up in the bubble, and the Lightning were able to get the second seed. And the Bruins were the quote-unquote road team for games 1, 2, 5, and 7, and they'll never got to game 6 or 7 because the Bruins absolutely blew. So that's one thing. It was like 2018 all over again. You win You win game 1 of the series against Tampa Bay, and then you absolutely shit the bed. Here, well, you've taken 3 of the first 4. Now, don't crap the bed. Look. At worst, you're not going to see Tampa Bay until the 3rd round at this rate. That is assuming Tampa Bay gets past Florida, who I believe are up 3-0 right now over the Panthers. So the Lightning could be leading that series 3-1 by the end of the day today, and most likely eliminate the Panthers anyway. But either way, though, you're still not going to face Tampa Bay till at least round 3 if they get that far. They could get knocked out by Carolina, or if Nashville comes back, they could upset Tampa Bay too. Anything's possible in Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, look, we all thought the Blue Jackets were going to sweep the Lightning. No, we all thought the Lightning were going to sweep the Blue Jackets in 2019, and what happened? The Blue Jackets swept the Lightning, and the Lightning won the President's Trophy in 2019. In 2019, you avoided Washington and Tampa and the big dogs in the Western Conference in San Jose and Vegas, and you still effed it up. Tampa, they took their sweep from Columbus and they turned it into a championship the following season. What are you going to do? All right. Another quick break here. We're going to switch gears here. But before we go to that break, just want to say in Game 5, do exactly what you did in Game 4. Shut down Ovechkin. Shut down Oshie. Play well in front of your goaltender. Don't turn over the puck. And for the love of God, stay out of the damn penalty box. Stop giving the Capitals power play opportunities. You're lucky they haven't burned you on their last, 12, 2 of the last 12 of them, because their goaltender is literally standing on his freaking head. Stay out of the damn box. You get the power play opportunities. Make the most of your opportunities. Shut down Ovechkin and Oshie. Get Char's fat ass out of the way. Guess what? You move on to round number 2. The Capitals are grabbing their golf clubs. It's that simple. Do exactly what you did in Game 4. Eliminate these idiots. Send them to the golf course. Send your way to round number 2. I'm not ready to see you play golf yet. Not this year. These players just ain't good. Because you're playing well. Keep playing well. All right. Switching gears over to the Red Sox, who continue to lead the American League East. The Red Sox have not fallen out of first place since they got it on April 10th. 42 days ago, the Red Sox took over first place in the AL East, and they haven't let it go. TitleTown Throwdown on all Fans Only Sports Network platforms and Naked Sports.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
TitleTown Throwdown. I'm Nick LeBlanc. Welcome back. Well, the Red Sox, they continue to roll. And look, story of the year for the Red Sox, comeback. Comeback. The Red Sox have so many comeback from behind wins. It's about as many. The Red Sox have just about as many comeback wins this season as wins that they had all last year. And last year they only played 60 damn games and the Red Sox sucked. So the Red Sox, as I said earlier, they continue to lead the AL East, a division that they have led for 42 consecutive days. That is 6 weeks that they have led the season. And this team, from starting out 0-3, when they got swept by the Baltimore Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles of all flipping teams, you get swept by them, you're thinking as Red Sox fan, oh God, here we go again, another suckitude season. Welcome back, Alex Cora. He's gone at the end of the year, or maybe by mid-season. Losers, bums. 9-5 wins later, you're on top of the American League East, and you haven't let it go since. So here's the American League East standings as of right now. Red Sox lead it at 28-18 with a .609 win percentage. They've won 3 straight, 6 of their last 10. Tampa, 1 game behind you at 27-19, a .587 win percentage. The Rays have won 8 straight. The Yankees, 26-19, a game and a half back. They've won 7 of 10. They've won 4 in a row. The Blue Jays, a team that you just took 2 out of 3 from, 23-20, .535 win percentage, only 3.5 back. They've won 6 of the last 4, but they've lost 3 straight. And then there are the Orioles, 17-27, 10 games back. They've lost 8 of the last 10, and they've lost 4 straight. So that team that swept you at the beginning of the season, Baltimore since that sweep, Baltimore's lost 27, have lost 27 of the last, me and math. Whatever. They've lost 20. They've lost 27 out of whatever how many games they've played, and you have won 28 of whatever. I don't feel like doing the math right now because if I try to do it, it's gonna make my brain hurt, and I've already embarrassed myself enough with math on this show enough, so I'm not gonna even try it. But anyway, though, the Red Sox probably should have lost on Thursday night, let's be honest, but naturally, your designated hitter, your power guy, a guy who you expect to be this way, build your ass out again. JD Martinez. There's only one other person on the Red Sox that I can think that build your ass out time and time again. There's only some guy named Dave Ortiz, who was your DH for, 13 years, 14 years. Build you out of just about every situation possible. And this guy, JD Martinez, he seems like a pretty good replacement to that guy. Don't y'all think? So anyway, the Red Sox, they're just simply playing good baseball. The Red Sox have overexceeded my expectations this year. Does this team give you 2018 vibes? No. I'm only saying no because the Red Sox had about 8 to 10 more wins than they do now. pretty easy. But this team has played exceptionally well when faced with adversity. You start out 0-3, you pop off 9 straight games. You're down late in games, no big deal. You come back and win them. So you can get the 2018 vibes from that because of their comeback wins. Record-wise, I'd say about the same. You're 10 games over here on Saturday, May 22nd. Again, you've led the American League East for 42 consecutive days straight. And not once have you relinquished it. And yet, of all that, you've played the Orioles. You've played the Orioles already 10 times. You've played the Orioles 10 times. You've played the Rays 3 times. You've played the Blue Jays 5 times already. You've played your entire division already, except you haven't played the Yankees yet. And you don't face the Yankees until June 25th. And they come here to Fenway Park. You've already played one series against the National League team, the other New York team, the Mets. You're already in your second National League series. From last night all the way till next Sunday, it's National League opponents. You're in Philadelphia today and tomorrow, off day, and then you welcome in Atlanta and Miami. So there's 8 there's about 8 games right there they play National League opponents. Then you go to Houston. No, my apologies. Then you face New York on June 4th. In New York. Naturally. In New York. But you face just about half the American League, your entire division, half the NL East, before you played a team in your own, before you played the last team in your own damn division. You've already played the A's. You've already played the Angels. You've already played the Mariners. You've already played the White Sox and the Twins. You've already played the Texas Rangers and the Detroit Tigers. You have played 3 teams from the AL West, 3 teams from the AL Central. No, 4 teams from the AL Central already. You're going to play each team from the AL West at least one time already before you play the Yankees. Imagine that. The first 2 months of the season, you have a chance to build some games off the New York before you actually play them head-to-head. Well, Yankees draw to a slow start. They're doing fine now. You draw to a slow start. You're doing great. So it all comes down to who wants it more. And this division is a 3-team race right now between the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Yankees. You can consider the Blue Jays right now. I think the Blue Jays are going to tail off. Eventually, the Rays are going to tail off. It's just going to be left with you in New York unless you tail off or unless the Yankees tail off, right? And look, there's a better bet that the Red Sox tail off first than the Yankees. I'm being brutally honest with that. The Yankees haven't had a losing season since, 93, 94? Somewhere around there. They haven't had a losing. The Yankees haven't finished a year below 500 since then. That's almost 30 years consistently that the Yankees have finished 500 or better. Almost 30 years the Yankees have finished 500 or better. Every team in baseball, just about, has finished below 500 since 92, except for the Yankees. Except for the Yankees. I believe it was 1992. I'm looking that up right now. Look at it on my trusty iPad here. So last time the Yankees finished under 5. We know the last time the Red Sox finished under 500. They from 2011 to 2020, the Red Sox finished under 500. What, 5-6 times in that span? And yet somehow you won 2 World Series in that time span. The Yankees finished above 500 each of those seasons. Failed to make the playoffs 3 times. Yankees haven't won jack squat since 2009. Which is great for you. So it's happening right now. Last time the Yankees finished below 500. If I can type correctly. So going here. So list the Yankees seasons. We'll just skim this pretty briefly. 1992 was the last time the New York Yankees finished with a losing record. 1992, they went 76-86 with a .469 win percentage. The Yankees from 1989 to 1992 finished with losing seasons in 5 consecutive years. 5 consecutive years. Since then, the Yankees have had winning seasons. 94, 95, 96, they won the World Series. 97, 98, they won the World Series. 99, won the World Series. 2000, won the World Series. 2001, lost the World Series. 02, they didn't get past the first round. 03, they lost the World Series. 04, they blew it to the Red Sox. Either way, we all know. As much as I love to go back and look at New York Yankee misery, as much as that's fun for Red Sox fans and miserable for any Yankee fans that I know, I don't really care. 29 of the 30 MLB teams have had at least one. And I'm just being brutal. That's literally the threshold right there. At least one losing season since 1992. The Yankees haven't. From 93 straight through 2020. That is, they've had consistency. And again, since I cannot do basic math in my own head, I'm going to use a calculator because that's what I need. So not 20 this year because this year's still going, but from last year to now, 28 years. The Yankees have had a winning season for the last 27 consecutive years. From 93 on. 27 consecutive seasons. The Yankees have finished with a record above 500. They haven't finished 500 or worse since then. Look, will that streak continue for the Yankees? Probably. It might be a while till we see the Yankees really have a miserably bad losing season. But who knows, though? All right. Anyway, Red Sox been in first place 42 consecutive days. They're in Philadelphia. Dan Eovaldi takes them out. There's still one glaring issue with this. I wouldn't say glaring, but there's still an issue. Starting pitching and the bullpen. Now those true colors starting to show. The first, say 3-4 weeks of the season, starting pitching looked good. The bullpen was looking great. So you're looking saying, okay, the offense is, the offense is good for a few days and they have an off day. Pitching staff, though, is still really great. And last few weeks, though, the pitching staff has really started to show their true colors. Starting guys are struggling. Bullpen struggling. It is what it is, right? Right. But still, the pitching should not determine this whole team. They've got 28 wins because the rotation's been great. They have 28 wins because the offense is the offense. Red Sox are still like a top 10 offense. Pitching-wise, as a whole staff, I'd say maybe middle of the pack. About there. I don't know the exact statistics. I'll have that for you next week. But anyway, those Red Sox team is rolling. Keep the ball rolling. Keep yourself ahead of the Rays. Keep yourself ahead of the Yankees. Keep yourself ahead of the Blue Jays. Don't worry about Baltimore. I've already considered the Orioles eliminated. Because unless the Orioles make a fantastic turnaround, don't worry about them. Don't worry about Baltimore. All right? Don't worry about the O's. So, anyway, one more break here to go. Going to talk a little bit of Patriots and NFL football in general. TitleTown, Throwdown, on all fans-only sports platforms and Agent Sports.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
TitleTown Throwdown. I'm LeBlanc. Final segment here to go. The Patriots, they made another move today, or a couple days ago. Brian Hoyer is back. Question is why? This guy can't tell how many timeouts he has left in a half, nor realize that he can't take a sack in order to get into field goal range. Or stay in field goal range and just throw the ball to the sideline. Sound that Brian Hoyer is right now. So I want to look at we're going to look at the Patriots quarterback room here, as probably should have done this earlier, but that's okay. I love doing things on the fly, especially with you all. So right now, the Patriots quarterback room's ranked 16th best. That's 16 out of 32. Is that bad? No. Is it good? No. Right now, your quarterback room is this: Cam Newton, Mac Jones, Jarrett Stidham, Brian Hoyer, and then some schmuck that they picked up from Cincinnati, who's not even going to be here anyway, so we're not even going to count him. But you look at this, and you just have to wonder, why bring back Brian Hoyer unless you don't have confidence in one of two guys? It's not Mac Jones. You just wasted the 15th overall pick on him, and he's still going to be, at least a year out. So Mac Jones, I'm not concerned about Mac Jones. I personally feel Mac Jones should start right out of the gate, but knowing Bill Belichick, it probably won't. He probably won't. We all know Belichick by now. So that comes down to either Cam Newton or Jarrett Stidham. I don't think it's going to be Newton. I don't think Newton's going anywhere. I think Newton's going to be the starter here, and going to be able to prove that he can actually lead a team. That leaves Jared Stidham, who I believe the Patriots aren't happy with his development between the time that they drafted him in the 4th round of 2019 to now. Think about it. Jared Stidham, he had the opportunity to become the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots in 2020. What did he do? Well, he randomly went home to Houston to attend a wedding. And so what did that force Bill Belichick do? Well, Belichick assumed that his mindset wasn't on football. It's just on everything else. So he brings in Cam Newton. For cheap. Even though he could have gotten Newton for dirt cheap at the beginning of the free agency last season, that's besides the point. Belichick brought in Cam Newton for really a multitude of reasons. Give Stidham false hope. Make Stidham earn the job. Stidham didn't even earn the job. Stidham didn't even win the backup role to start last season. That was Brian Hoyer. So what does that say about Jared Stidham, that you can't beat out Cam Newton, and you couldn't even beat out Brian Hoyer for the backup role last season? Now entering this year, you got another guy to compete for the starting job with. Brian Hoyer, he's already been eliminated from the Patriots starting quarterback position because Brian Hoyer just absolutely blows as a starting quarterback. Blows with the capital blows. All right? Like, Brian Hoyer, no. Don't have to worry about him taking a snap on the center for the Patriots. A meaningful snap, that is. So it comes down to Stidham, Newton, and Jones. Mac Jones has the most legitimate choice. I think just because of his veteran nature and the fact that he's literally will be a puppet for Belichick, that Belichick will literally just stick his hand up Newton's ass and be like, yeah, yep, yep, I'll do this, and that, and I won't say this, that. I won't say anything dumb. Belichick's hand is so far up Newton's butt, it ain't funny. It ain't funny. Stidham, on the other hand, he has to battle Mac Jones for the backup role. And I'm more confident in Mac Jones winning that backup role than I am Jared Stidham even making this team. So, of the 4 guys, if you had to choose 3 guys, I'd go with Newton, Jones, and Stidham over Brian Hoyer. But you want Hoyer there to teach Mac Jones and mentor him and have Cam just focus on the playbook and everything else. But don't you want Mac Jones to see what Cam Newton can do on the football field? Because Brian Hoyer's not going to see the field. God forbid Brian Hoyer sees that football field. Oh, God. Brian Hoyer steps onto the football field, it better just be for a freaking kneel down at the end of the game, or you gave up on a game because you're losing by 58 points. That's the only time I better see Brian Hoyer out on the field. But, now look, is Brian Hoyer the greatest guy to tutor Mac Jones? No. Not a chance. But is he the worst guy there? No, he's not. He's not. But don't you want your 2 veteran quarterbacks in Hoyer and Newton to help Mac Jones along here? Because Mac Jones could easily get the starting job either right out of the gate, by week 4 when Brady the Bucks come, or any other point during the season. And that's done because either Newton got hurt or Newton sucks. It'll probably be because Newton sucks. But I don't know. If you're Jared Stidham, you see that the Patriots drafted quarterback in round 1. Newton's still here. Newton's pretty much being handed the starting job right now. You have to compete for the backup role. That says a lot about you and your development, that you're not taking this seriously. And if there was an odd man out, you're the odd man out. All right, I do want to get to a couple of quick NFL storylines here. Tim Tebow has officially signed as a tight end with the Jacksonville Jaguars. How will Tim Tebow do as a tight end? I don't know. It's something that he should have done 8 years ago. If Tebow converted to a tight end years ago, either when he was with the Jets at the time or the Patriots, he could be a Super Bowl champion. 2-time Super Bowl champion, the Patriots, easily. And you wouldn't. And the Patriots probably would not have seen the likes of Ryan Izzo or Matt Lacoste or maybe even Devin Asisi or Asasi, however the hell you pronounce his stupid name. Hell, Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry might not even be here. Who knows? But no, Tebow is so hell-bent to being a quarterback. Belichick cut him, and Philly cut him, which I was shocked by that. And then he goes to play baseball where he failed again. So he's come back to the NFL as a tight end where 50-50 chance he'll either succeed or fail. One of the two. But that's besides the point. All right. Julio Jones has been made available by the Atlanta Falcons. What do the Patriots have to offer to the Falcons? Not much. You got N'Keal Harry, Sony Michel, up-and-coming guys. Michel's proven more than Harry has at this point. Maybe send a first and a second to Atlanta, or maybe a first and a third. Either way, Jones is going to cost you a bit of an arm and a leg. And Jones is going to restructure his deal if he does come to the Patriots. Patriots have about $11 million in cap space. I believe Jones's cap hit is like 16. So it shouldn't be that hard to restructure, but it's still going to structure the ways. And then the roller coaster that is the Aaron Rodgers drama in Green Bay. Look, Denver has still been rumored to him multiple times. Denver has a good young quarterback in Drew Lock, who I don't think he's in the right system, to be brutally honest, so he might not be, but it's still going to cost Denver an arm and a leg to get Rodgers, and Rodgers is going to have to get his contract restructured significantly in order for him to be moved. And I don't think, and Green Bay is still reluctant to move him, and Green Bay's basically not going to move him. And what everyone is forgetting is that Aaron Rodgers has a possible out after the 2021 season. He built that into his contract, so that way, if he wanted to leave Green Bay at any point, he can. How do you people forget this? So, personally, I feel Rodgers is better off to play in Green Bay in 2021. Suck it up, Buttercup. Play in Green Bay. And then if you want to move on, use your out, become an unrestricted free agent, and go to another team. Because Green Bay's not trading your ass. So deal with it. Play in 2021. Or say something. It's been reported that on Monday night, at 11 p.m., Aaron Rodgers is going to be on ESPN with Kenny Mayne to discuss everything and what he plans on doing. I don't like 11 a.m., but I'm sure as hell going to watch it because this whole Green Bay mess needs to be sorted out now. If Aaron Rodgers comes out and says that he is committed to playing for the Patriots in 2021, great. End all the rumors. You can pick up the rumors after the 2021 season when, again, Aaron Rodgers has an out of his contract if he chooses to use it, which probably at this point he will use it. So let's wait to see what Aaron Rodgers. We haven't heard anything from Rodgers since this whole fiasco began on the night of April 28th, draft night. The Patriots have come out and said that they are not interested in trading Aaron Rodgers for anything. the Broncos haven't made a formal contract offer, nor have they made any really plans to do so. So Denver hasn't made an actual phone call. San Francisco's made a phone call and they got hung up on. The Rams tried to trade for Stafford Rodgers, and they got hung up on. So that's the reluctance of Green Bay. So now Rodgers, he only has a couple options here. 3 options. Sit out. He'll be sitting out a long time. He'll be sitting out really at least this season until he can get out of his contract, which so many people fail to forget. Retire. Or, as I said just about a minute ago, suck it up, Buttercup. Play in the situation that you're in, and then leave. I'll be fine with that. Just, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth first. Because Rodgers hasn't publicly come out and said he demanded a trade or anything. Nothing of those sorts. So let's wait to see what Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, has to say Monday night. If Rodgers comes out abruptly on ESPN says he is committed to playing for the Green Bay Packers in 2021, I expect everyone to shut up about Aaron Rodgers for at least the next 12 months. At least for the next 8 to 10 months. Shut up about it. And we can re-talk about this in January or February of 2022. Please. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's edition of TitleTown Throwdown. Thank you all for watching and tuning in, whether you tuned in and out or you're here without the whole program. It don't matter to me much. All right. TitleTown Throwdown. Hopefully next week we're talking about Bruins round 2. Bruins round 2. If they can get there, they just need one more to eliminate the Capitals and old buddies in Zdeno Chara. And that's also a big question that we'll talk about next week too. Is this the end? The actual end for Zdeno Chara throughout his entire NHL career? We'll see. All right, TitleTown Throwdown. I'm LeBlanc, and we will see you later.